Ke simolola to thank our pastor, our prophet, our prof, Wadile Mahoko Sentese, that re tshwanetse ke gore re le Batswana re itse gore re tshwanetse go lwantsha maba o re o bitsang tshenyetso setšhaba. Distinguished members of the Fourth Estate, management of the DCEC, as ably introduced by the spokesperson, Peter Tsawais. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. Yes, please. Allow me this morning to address our media by thanking you all for accepting our invitation to this media brief or press conference, as our spokesperson has already highlighted, and for your continued interest in reporting matters that fall within the mandate of the Directorate on Corruption and Economic Crime. You do certainly keep us on our toes, I have to admit. I would also like to take this opportunity to highlight that as the DCEC, we view the media as a strategic partner in the fight against corruption. The foundation of our partnership is anchored in our shared vision of accountability, transparency, and contributing to fostering a culture of integrity in Botswana. As the media fraternity, you play a very pivotal role. You play a very critical role in the governance architecture of our society. So you help shape the thoughts, you help shape opinions, you educate, you inform, and you also conduct investigative reports, and you have a platform to amplify effective anti-corruption strategies. So you are, in this regard, the watchdogs of democracy and proponents of issues that are in the public interest. So I humbly stand before you today, not just to acknowledge the challenges that we face together, but to also remind ourselves of the power we possess when we work together. So the objective of this press conference this morning is to strengthen our relationship with yourselves by sharing information on the activities of the DCEC and engaging constructively, ladies and gentlemen, on anti-corruption matters. While you know, a lot of the work that we do as the DCEC, particularly as regards investigations, this work is treated with utmost confidentiality. But it is also imperative that periodically we share information on our anti-corruption interventions and strategies. So as the Directorate, we are committed to transparency and keeping the nation informed. Me rentse nkare re ko morago re didimetsenyana when it comes to these issues. Notwithstanding the aforementioned, it would be remiss of me not to address some issues, some of them that we refer to as fake news, by certain media platforms. I'm not going to paint you with one brush. By certain media platforms, mostly social media platforms. And, you know, these fake news often take center stage when it comes to corruption matters. Mekana, the media remains bestowed with a critical role of informing the nation. Hence, the rapid spread of misinformation, particularly through the social media platforms. And this has demonstrated the need for maintaining credible journalism and responsible reporting. We are therefore have a significant responsibility to be thorough, to ensure that you fact check, to ensure that you conduct verification exercises. This will not only curb the spread of false narratives and inaccuracies that may harm people's reputations in the process, that may harm reputations of Botswana in the process. But it will also build trust. It will also ensure that your audience, your stakeholders, and the general public, they know that you are a reliable source of news. Further, just to share, Botswana will be undergoing the Financial Action Task Force evaluation CA 2027. And fake news is one of the issues that could put the country at risk. The media is therefore an integral part of the Botswana's review process. You know why? Because we need to understand and recognize that the world is watching us. The whole world is judging us as a country. And the whole world is judging us through your lens as the media. Out there, they read newspapers. They go through social media platforms. So they judge Botswana with what we put out there in the social media space. So, maybe just to highlight the overview of our mandate. I know a lot of you are aware of what we do, but I'm still going to just share to make emphasis. It's important to articulate at the onset that the DCEC is mandated through the Corruption and Economic Crime Act to safeguard the nation's public and economic resources through the development and implementation of robust anti-corruption strategies. And to fulfill this mandate, the DCEC operates what we refer to as a three-pronged strategy against corruption. That is, we have our public education, we have our corruption prevention, and our investigations. We investigate allegations of corruption in Botswana and any contravention of fiscal and revenue laws, that is economic crime, including money laundering. And part of our corruption prevention mandate is to examine the practices and procedures of public bodies in order to facilitate the identification of corrupt practices and recommend remedial measures to address such corrupt practices. And we do this by conducting what we call corruption audits. And we have, from last year, from 2022 up to now, we've completed about 6 audits in various ministries with some key findings that are similar in all these audits. We've come across the issue that there is a lot of non-adherence to payment standards when we talk financial management. We note absence of procedures and guidelines to facilitate proper management of records, poor record keeping within our institutions, missing records. So when you conduct investigations, record is critical. There's nothing that you can do where there are no records. So that is a hurdle that we need to deal with on a daily basis. Non-adherence to financial instructions and procedures, as I've already highlighted. So these are some of the issues that we come across, and these are some of the issues that we are saying accounting officers, managers and leaders should take into account to monitor all these issues that the findings that we come across. And finally, we do what we call public education. We educate the public on the negative impact that corruption has on our society. The effects of corruption, ladies and gentlemen, has far-reaching implications We will see it in the continued impoverishment of our people. We see it in the mismanagement of resources necessary for development. We see it in the lack of provision of critical services to our people. As such, we educate, enlist and foster public support in combating corruption, targeting the different sectors of our society via different programs. Just to share with you our 2024 roadmap. Looking at our 2024 roadmap, Bagaitso, 2024 marked a significant milestone for the DCEC as the institution commemorated its 30 years in operation. The year was characterized by a reflection on the legislative framework, a reflection on our policies, a reflection on our strategies and initiatives that have been implemented over the years in the anti-corruption fight in Botswana. During 2024, the DCEC focused on lifestyle audits as a strategy to uncover concealed corrupt practices and ill-gotten gains. This is consistent with provisions of our Act, Section 34 to be precise, of the Corruption and Economic Crime Act, on the possession of unexplained property, noting that traditional forms of bribery and corruption, they've become increasingly difficult to trace. The accumulation of unaccounted wealth or living beyond one's known sources of income has emerged as an indicator of potential illicit activity. So the stark disparity between visible wealth and declared earnings has become one of the clearest signs of corruption. Our 2025-2026 annual performance plan further complemented our roadmap. It further complemented our roadmap because for this current financial year, we have prioritized anti-corruption efforts into 3 high-risk sectors, being procurement, being land issues, and transport licensing. They have historically posed significant challenges to our efforts to combat corruption. So we've prioritized these 3 key areas. The intention is to ensure that our 3-pronged strategy comes into action. We focus on these 3 areas with our 3 strategies. Whether it's prevention, whether it's education, whether it's investigation, we all go into these particular 3 areas for this financial year. Intention is to ensure that come next financial year, we need to check whether this strategy has actually worked, whether it has yielded a lasting impact in these sectors. Some of you may be aware on the aspect of our legislative review and high priority areas. You may be aware that we are currently in the process of reviewing the Corruption and Economic Crime Act. The key objectives of this exercise is to strengthen our legislative framework. We need to strengthen our legislative framework to adequately address the evolving and complex nature of modern-day corruption. We envisage that through this review, the Act will be able to close the institutional and operational gaps that we currently contend with. So it is our intention to have this Act presented or passed by Parliament in its November sitting. Turning to our statistical information to share with you, 2024 statistical information between January and December 2024, we received 687 reports, 687 allegations of corruption and economic crime. In comparison to this year, 2025, between January and August, 21st of August, we've received 612 reports. And we are barely out of our half-year mark, and we've already received close to the same number of reports that we received in the whole year, 2024. So out of the 687 reports received, 238 of these were classified for investigation. This constitutes 34%. The rest of the reports were either referred to other institutions for appropriate action, as they were deemed to be outside the DCEC mandate. You may recall that when I appeared before the Public Accounts Committee earlier this year, I alluded to the fact that we are investigating 50 high-profile cases. Just to share that they have now increased to 54. And among those, I shared also then that we have 7 cases involving politicians from the past and present regime, and that has increased to 9. And noteworthy is the ground we've covered so far, gathering all the necessary information. So we need to have patience, my comrades. We need to have patience. Other effective strategies that we are employing is the parallel investigation approach, where investigations into corrupt activities are carried out alongside related financial offenses, particularly money laundering. This dual focus ensures that investigators are not only examining the behaviors of the suspect, but are also able to trace illicit funds, identify the flow of the money, as well as uncovering any financial networks that may be involved in the concealment of this wealth. Parallel investigations allow for the use of specialized techniques in asset tracing, making it possible to track down illicitly obtained assets, seize them, and recover proceeds of crime. It is a deterrent to potential wrongdoers because we need to have the capacity to dismantle it, to dismantle corruption from the roots. So far, in 2024, we traced and identified proceeds of corruption in the form of property and money, and referred assets valued at about 144 million to the DPP for instigation of asset recovery applications. In comparison to the previous year, this is an increase because previously, 2023, we managed to recover 1,888,474 pula. So this amount was referred to DPP in 2023 in comparison to the 144 million that has been identified for 2024. Program Director, the overall caseload now, as at 31st December 2024, it stood at 1,603 as compared to 1,774 in 2023. The overall caseload consists of 1,045 cases that are under active investigations. 208 of these are awaiting final determination through internal processes within the DCEC, while 350 cases are pending at the Directorate on Public Prosecutions, or they are before the various courts in the country. So regarding the disposal of cases, the 350 cases that were disposed from January 2024 to date comprise 62 cases that were sent to DPP in that year alone. So the 350 is the accumulation of the cases that have been consistently submitted. So 62 were sent to DPP for possible prosecution in 2024, while 288 cases were closed internally by our panel. So the number of cases referred to DPP represent a 38% increase. How compare the 2023? Because that 2023, just 2023 alone, we submitted 45 cases for DPP. So 2024, we submitted 62 cases for DPP for possible prosecution. And for 2024 completed cases at the courts, 7 cases were completed at the courts. 7 cases were completed at the courts during the year 2024, with 3 convictions, 3 acquittals, and 1 case was withdrawn from court due to the passing of the accused person. And before I conclude, I cannot conclude without maybe just highlighting that in recent months, numerous corruption allegations were made against high-profile individuals. These allegations obviously captured our national interest, highlighting the urgent need for transparency and accountability in public institutions. As the DCEC, we remain steadfast in our commitment to addressing these challenges head-on. Our mission is very clear: to ultimately eliminate corruption in all its forms and manifestations. So allow me to now address some of the cases that I know have piqued your interest. Let me just address, first and foremost, the 100 billion or so-called butterfly case. This matter, Bagaetso, has not only eroded public trust, but has also placed immense pressure on the DCEC. And by saying we are all aware, I need to confirm that government of Botswana has reached a settlement agreement in this case. And with that, the matter has been put to rest. I know, I can see your faces. The other issue that is always making rounds, that doesn't seem to go away, is our relationship between the DCEC and the DIS. Let me preempt here and confirm to you that the DCEC and DIS enjoy a cordial working relationship. The context of sharing this position is that previously, the DCEC experienced challenges in this area, and we can't deny that. We have to be factual, we have to be honest. But we have since set our parameters. And I've said this in previous fora, that despite many inaccurate reports in some parts of the media, or DCEC, DIS has infiltrated DCEC, DIS is controlling DCEC, DIS is... We have our mandate. Each and every one of us, both these institutions, they have their mandates, they are very clear. Our mandate or our institutions, they play a distinct but crucial role. We therefore operate in our own lanes. we operate in our own lanes, within our mandates, within our statutes, and we do complement each other as and when necessary. So ne ke batla gore eo ke clarify gore bagaetsho it's work in progress, but we have set our parameters, the two of us. A lot has also been said in the social media space on certain high-profile investigations that we are pursuing. I would like to confirm here and now that indeed DCEC investigating some high-profile persons. These investigations, although deal at a very advanced stage, they are still ongoing. Therefore, it is important that we preserve the integrity of the investigations. And I ask here and now for your indulgence, for patience. Let us be patient, because the reason why I've started this, the reason why the DCEC has initiated this engagement, going forward, we need to do it periodically. We need to do it at certain intervals. So intention is for us to update you immediately on conclusion of these matters that I'm referring to. Turning to the recent matter, because I can talk about it because we already have a charge sheet, even though it was withdrawn. I must also confirm that the Directorate of Public Prosecutions has since withdrawn the arraignment. The prosecution still need to re-look at the matter and will advise accordingly once a decision has been taken in this case. And because of the audit, no. This docket was submitted to DPP in November 2024. Finally, it is true that DCEC is investigating suspected irregular land dealings involving Mogoditshane Sub-Land Board officials, among others. This is still a very fresh matter, which we are currently not in a position to share further information on, save to confirm that it is part of a broader investigation on land issues that we have been conducting as the DCEC over the years. And to date, we've submitted close to 30 dockets on land issues to DPP for possible prosecution. So be assured that we will continue to crack down on these cases. Program Director, it is important for me to remind you, members of the media, that the DCEC only has the mandate to investigate. We have the mandate to investigate allegations of corruption and economic crime. The mandate to prosecute lies exclusively with the DPP. We do not have any control over the cases that are eventually prosecuted, but we submit to the DPP. And therefore, we are working together, the DPP, to ensure that we have effective strategies in the fight against corruption. In conclusion, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to share the progress we are making in terms of our anti-corruption efforts. And as such, I look forward to your engagement and want to assure you that the DCEC views the media as a critical partner in the fight against corruption and will endeavor to always keep the communication channels open on the same page. I therefore thank you immensely for your attention. Bagaetsho. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ke bone le nyanya thata ha le ra re bo comrade le rata thata go bidiwa bo comrade